All right, let's talk about some jack stands and some blocking. First off, hey, this is probably the the oldest block in the book, but it's solid. This one has no big cracks in it, and it's nice and square, so it actually, when you put weight on it, it won't want to tip from side to side. It's more than long enough. And the nice thing about using wood, if you have a piece of steel that's on it, it actually kind of grips into it, so it'll prevent it from slipping out. So blocking is great, but we can't always have enough blocking. So the next thing is we have this little jack stand here. Let's see, this is a 3-ton jack stand. To put 3 tons on it is a lot of weight. I wouldn't recommend it. We keep these little jack stands around here, not really for putting underneath vehicles, but for more small welding projects. When you're ever using them, go up and down, just lift the lever and they'll drop down again. If you could keep things nice and centered in that part of it, it'd be great. And of course, if you're putting a jack stand anywhere, it has to be under a fairly level surface. If you have something that's going in here and it's at quite an angle, there's a good chance it's going to slip out. So it's going to be nice and straight, and it's got to be the correct rating. Here we have another jack stand. It's very similar design. This one's a 7-ton. You can see right there. So pretty good jack stand. We have a few of these. Keep in mind that when you're lifting it, you got to make sure it's clicked down and the weight is right in the center. And you don't want any weight going off to this side or trying to push it to the side, because it is possible for them to buckle. And the same thing, when you want to release it, lift up the lever and it'll release it. Okay, now we're getting into the better ones here. This 22-ton floor stand is actually really nice and heavy. There's a heavy pin to adjust it. You have to pull the pin out, and then you have different holes that it could go through. When you're putting it through, make sure this pin goes all the way through, not just part of the way. And when you're there, put it in there. It's nice and stable. It's really good for lower situations, like say the front of a semi or something like that. Now we're going to go up to our 12-ton jack stands. Not that they're higher capacity, they're just higher height. So we have the 2 different kinds here. The bottom is bell style. They'll lift pretty good, or hold pretty good. Be the same thing. We have a pin that goes all the way through and supports it. It's nice and equal. When you're lifting it, of course, this will lift out. So if you're going to lift it and move it around, there's some handles on them. Grab them by the handle. That way you won't just lift part of it and the rest of it will land on your toe. And this is our other one. This is quite a bit higher, so if you have to lift on some different implements and stuff like that, we'll just get into these warnings, just saying, hey, know what you're doing, keep your safety glasses on, and hey, there's a hazard of you getting collapsed in half. So make sure you're putting your jack stands in the correct locations.